Welcome back to Monster Hunter World. In this particular episode, mainly going to be doing a little bit of grinding, some expeditions, trying to get some equipment we need for a fight that's coming up. So this episode, next couple episodes, may be a little tame because I need to get a few weapon upgrades, and a few other little things here or there that I actually do need to go ahead and knock out.
Want something making?
First of all, we're going to need to try and get us a fire-based weapon. Also, some of the information that one of the things I've noticed is that the upcoming, particular upcoming monster is going to be a flyer type. So, because of that, and the last time we fought a flyer, we had some issues due to my weapon not exactly being what it should be. My weapon's just not effective against flying types, so I'm gonna have to see about either upgrading to a useful flying type weapon, a useful ranged weapon, or I'll have to go with a, well, no, either way I go about it. Most likely we'll have to stick with a ranged based weapon. Trying to decide, it's probably going to either be, I probably won't go with a heavy, while the heavy does have a shield on it. I like having mobility, but because of the lack of mobility with the ranged weapons, it kind of makes it harder for me to accomplish what I need to. However, due to the fact that we've not really done much work with our ranged weapons, that means that we are going to need to gather up some resources in order to get to the point to where we need to be to use them. Actually, I might see light bowgun I can make. I cannot. Jeez, shoot. Okay, well, looks like we just have to upgrade up to that point. I've not had much practice with the ranged weapons, so in order for me to get the materials to use this thing properly, I'm probably just going to have to go out and use it. I have a choice between using wet guns, which actually use different types of ammunition, which is nice. Or I could go with a bow, which sets up different types of coating, but I don't know how. It looks like the bow, not necessarily weaker than a, well, yeah, I guess it is. I don't know. Probably go with the, Bowgun, because I figured that it would probably be our best bet. But that being said, I'm actually going to need to gather up resources to use these properly. So I need to first find out which one I'm going to build to, and then after I know which one I'm building to, then from there, I just gather the resources I need. So let's take a look. I can go ahead and upgrade to this one to the Bowgun 3, which will split into the power rifle, which won't be too hard to get my hands on, or the blazing rifle, which has a high deviation. Which means basically all this I gotta learn how to use anyway. So Madness rifle, Other than looks and slight changes in their different stats, I'm not really sure the difference between the different weapons. So I think I'll just go ahead and put on my... I think I'll go ahead and go pushing this direction. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about these weapons, so I think my best bet is to... Okay, just a 10% and it loses affinity. You'd have... I guess I just have to see what the... Let's see. Let's see if I can find... Okay, Alright, there we go. Okay, so different weapons are better at using different types of ammunitions. Like this one is really good at using poison. Not so good. Okay, so it's basically based on the types of ammunition that you use. If I use an all-around type, then this would probably be the best bet. So, that being said, I think I'll go ahead and try to get upgrade to that one. And that should put us good on the weapon front. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I gotta practice with weapon also, so medium bones aren't too terribly hard to get. So I'm going to go into the ancient forest and do a little bit of side training in order to get this done. And then we should be okay on that area. Let's see if there's any missions that we can take in the forest that would be beneficial. It doesn't look like it. Wait a minute. Huh. I could do that one. It'd help me go after the Toby Kadachi. Yeah, we'll go ahead and test out with the against the Toby Kadachi. And then we'll base it off of what we can do from there. Let me grab some ammunition. Let's see. Okay, so it can't use piercing ammo at all. I already got spread ammo. Go ahead and put some spread ammo 2 in there. Sticky ammo does what? Oh, that'd be nice to carry. Oh, I can't carry much of that. Okay, so can't use cluster bomb. So that's all the ammunition I can bring with me. Before we go, let's go look at the shop and see if he's got any ammunition I can use. I know it's a bit unorthodox for me to switch up my weapons, but I feel like I kind of need to in this situation because flying types are a little difficult based on if you try using something that you can't really reach them with. So I believe that my best bet will be to go with the okay, so I can use this. No water ammunition can't be used in this guy. Okay, so freeze ammo is a no-go. No. Paralysis would be nice. Can't use sleep. use exhaust. Cover. Ooh, that'd be nice. I don't have the stuff for it, but okay. Well, that should do us. I'm gonna go ahead and buy some extras of these while I'm at it. So, well, okay, I'll just buy it as I need it. I'll probably find some more later. Okay, let's go ahead and okay, we need to get medium bones, and we need to test our rifle against the creature, against the Toby Kadachi. If we could beat the Toby Kadachi with this thing, then we're in pretty good, decent shape. I know he's not altogether a really big flyer type, but I feel like it won't be too bad of a test, because I don't want to do too weak of a test because it won't do us any good. But a bit of a stronger test should help out. Okay, so none of that. Okay, don't want to use my sticky ammo, so let's see. For now, let's just stick with the normal ammo ones, so that we're not burning our stuff out. And like I said, I really don't know how to use the weapon. I'll use it a couple of times, trying to kind of get the feel of it. But actually, let's
The light
see.
bowgun is a lightweight ranged weapon that's great for quick attacks and maneuverability.
I have no idea what I just did. Okay. Oh. Okay. So that's how you fire the weapon. Circle puts down a wavering blast, which I have no idea what that is. It's probably that thing I dropped on the ground. Okay. I know this is a bit reckless to go into this fight, especially since I don't know the weapon. But the best way to learn, at least in my mind, the best way to learn to use something, as long as you know the bare minimum of how to actually use the weapon, is to just get out and use it. Actually, I might be in the wrong area for the medium bones. I might need to go to a bit of a higher area. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Actually, let's go ahead and head out of this mission right quick. I know that it's kind of in poor taste to end a mission like that, but I need to. Main thing is to test the weapon out and to also get additional gear, while get the materials I need. While that being said, the weapon obviously isn't going to do as near as much damage as my, let's say, my blade. But that being said, it's going to do a lot more damage than my glaive against flyer types, because I spend all day chasing them down and actually doing very little damage to them. So I feel like this weapon will definitely help me get through the next fight. Changing up your weapons, while some people don't do it, and I haven't done it very often, I haven't done it except for in this instance, is a smart idea. As long as you have the stuff to actually be able to do so, means you have the weapons pre-built. The reason why is because you're playing on the advantages of the advantages and disadvantages of the weapons based on the creature you're actually fighting. Meaning, like if you've come across a creature that might be excessively weak against, let's say, hammers or blunt damage, then get a hammer, and you might actually be able to cause more damage and kill them faster if you can actually get used to the weapon itself. I do need to, like I said, I need to test the weapon out and kind of get a feel for it before I actually attempt it, because if I don't know the weapon, then I'm not going to be able to actually fight very effectively. But that being said, I really don't know a whole lot of difference between the small versus the large. I know the small is a little bit easier to move around with, where the large is hits a lot harder, or has stronger bullets, and can have a shield equipped, which I find kind of nice anyways. But I don't believe that that would be a, well, I'm not completely going to say that, not completely a advantage. And actually, that's a good creature to test this weapon on. Well, we'll figure out what we're doing when we get there. There's a hobgubby. Okay. But yeah, I don't want to use my sticky ammunition. I want to stick with my normal ammunition for now. I don't know why it defaults to my sticky ammunition for. That's kind of one of those ammunitions that I just use sparingly from my understanding of the looks of the actual weapon, or the name, or the description of the actual ammunition itself. Alright, so we're here after medium bones. Hopefully they're actually here. If not, then I might have come to another bad place, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal. I know we can get most of what we're looking for in this area. So just still small bones. Okay, just small bones. Might actually have to get them off of something. These don't hit very hard at all. Okay. Our medium bones might come from actually killing some of the larger monsters, which we have one up here. We just have to keep our eyes open given what we're actually fighting. At 1 damage a piece, that's going to take forever. red ammunition one isn't exactly... Okay, so these don't hit hard at all. Not from the damage that I'm used to having, so... Well, it looks like the weapon is safer. You can stay at a safer distance. It also seems to have the issues that I was afraid of it would have. Not doing near enough damage to some situations, not enough to justify the switch. Never mind. Actually, if you get it in good spots, you can actually do some damage comparable to the whole rifle. I mean, not rifle, but a melee weapon. Because I was getting about 15, and my usual damage is about 10, so... It just kind of depends on where you hit him. That was nice. That was heavy damage all around. And you don't have to worry about also worry about the reload, so I know the past games this weapon was a lot harder to use. Alright, now we got a rough idea of how the weapon's going to work, so... I think like when we get the upgrade for this weapon, we should. Oh, what the heck. Sorry about that, guys. That was actually really unexpected to happen. Doing good on health, and all of a sudden, just that one attack seemed to do a lot of damage. More than I was expecting. Alright, at least we weren't too far off from where he was when he dropped us, so hopefully we can kill him before he actually has a chance to recover too much. And it looks like he's recovering. Which is bad. Alright, let's try our sticky bullet. So he's gonna be right up in my face with the entire fight, so. Oh, he's gonna drop me again if I'm not careful. well, this weapon might work. The upgraded version of it would be a lot more helpful. This might be what we need to fight the next boss. Not 100% sure on that. I just put that out there right now. But that doesn't mean that it won't be. Once I'm out of the situation where I don't need to worry about using a flying type, then I will switch back to my glaive. Maybe. I'm actually, to be honest with you, I kind of like the weapon. So, yeah. Like I said, I kind of like the weapon, so I might stick with it. But then again, I do thoroughly enjoy using my my glaive. I might. Yeah, I might stick with it because don't get me wrong, I like the up close and personal fights, but I do need to switch up every so often and try to learn something new with it. So I might stay with it. Kind of depends on what you guys think. If you guys think I should switch back, let me know in comments. If enough of you think that I should switch back, then I will. If not, then I'll just stick with this. Never did manage to locate the bone we needed. So I'll have to do a little bit of research to find out where it's at so that we can take a look at it. So I can get that bone and get this upgraded. I'm going to do one more thing before I end tonight's episode. Sorry for the uneventful episode. There's, like I said, there's just a few things I gotta take care of before we go down into the Rotten Vale, and I think it's kind of important that I do so. I don't know if I did, but I'm gonna go ahead and apologize for the last couple episodes not having any commentary. My voice is kind of bothering me the past couple days, and even now my voice is actually bothering me. It's just I'm actually keeping a lot of fluids down my throat to kind of make it not as bad. But it's wearing out pretty quickly, so I kind of have to keep track of my throat at all times because of how bad it actually is getting. Alright, now, before we cut off this episode, I'm going to go and check on my trail riders, and that should be it for this episode. Yeah, that'll be about it for this episode. So just go ahead and right quickly. Oh, and we switched our room. I did that yesterday. You get the option to change your room up, and you get you can put a lot more creatures in there, kind of like this right here. You get an aquarium, which I'm guessing the only reason why that's even possible is, honestly, I don't see how it is, unless the back end of this is partially holding back water. Okay, let's check our trail riders, and dodgy scale and sinister claw. Interesting. Alright, and let's deploy my guys to let's do this one. There we go. I will try. I need to try and get online so I can get some cards, hunter cards, so that I can potentially get more of these trail riders to send out. Well, and with that, I'm going to have to call this episode done because I'm running out of time. Well,